My child, you have been carrying a weight in your heart that no one else truly understands, a quiet confusion that you've tried to ignore, hide, or pray your way out of. You've heard His words, you've held on to His promises, and you've tried so hard to believe the best in Him because your heart is pure, loyal, and full of hope. He said He loves you. He said He cares. He said He wants something real with you. And you believed Him, not because you're naive, but because you have a heart that chooses love over suspicion, faith over fear, sincerity over games. But God wants to speak to you today, right in the private place of your spirit where your deepest questions live. God has seen what you haven't seen. God has heard what you never heard. And God has watched what happened when you weren't looking. You've been walking with an open heart, but you've also been walking in the dark, trusting the light of someone else's words. And God is stepping into that darkness now, not to punish you, not to hurt you, not to shame you for trusting, but to protect you from what could harm you if you continued blindly. He says He loves you, but God is about to show you the reality behind His words. There have been moments when your spirit felt uneasy for no reason you could explain. Times when His actions didn't match His affection, when His silence contradicted His promises, when His distance felt louder than anything He ever said. Your intuition tugged at you, your heart whispered, something doesn't add up, but you silenced it because you didn't want to seem doubtful, paranoid, or ungrateful. You wanted to give Him the benefit of the doubt. You wanted to be patient, to be understanding, to be the bigger person. You hoped that maybe He was just busy, overwhelmed, confused, or scared. You hoped that maybe if you prayed more, loved deeper, waited longer, He would finally meet you where your heart has been waiting. But God is saying this: you are not wrong for feeling what you feel. You are not wrong for sensing what you sensed. You are not wrong for questioning what looked perfect on the surface. What you felt wasn't imagination, it was revelation. A quiet alert from your spirit. A subtle nudge from heaven. A warning you weren't yet ready to accept. God sees what you can't. He sees intentions long before they turn into actions. He sees conversations you were never part of. He sees behaviors behind closed doors. He sees patterns, contradictions, and motives that you, out of love, attempted to overlook. God knows when someone's words come from their heart and when they come from their insecurity, their loneliness, their ego, or their desire for control. And God is about to reveal the truth because He refuses to let your gentle heart be mishandled or misled. You have prayed for clarity. You have asked God if this connection is real. You have asked if He is truly meant for you. You have asked for a sign, for direction, for confirmation. You said, God, show me the truth, even if it hurts. Heaven heard that prayer, and now the answer is arriving. But not to break you, only to free you. There are things He said that touched you deeply, but there are things He didn't say that would have told you everything. His words were wrapped in affection, but His actions lacked the courage to match them. He liked the comfort of your love but wasn't ready for the responsibility of it. He enjoyed the idea of you but didn't understand the weight of having someone like you. You became his safe place, his emotional refuge, his reassurance. But he never gave you the stability, the certainty, or the commitment your soul deserves. He loves the way you make him feel, but he hasn't loved you with the maturity that God requires. He loves being admired, but he hasn't taken the steps to become the man he wants you to believe he is. And God is stepping in now because your heart is too valuable to be left in hands that are unsure, unstable, or unprepared. You didn't mishear God. You didn't misread the signs. You simply believed in someone who wasn't ready for the level of love you carry. God is not exposing him to embarrass him. God is exposing him to protect you from tying your destiny to someone whose intentions are still fragmented. You have been faithful. You have been loyal. You have been transparent. You opened your heart with sincerity, trusting that he would honor what you offered. But not everyone is capable of honoring a heart like yours, and God knows it. There is something inside you that hoped he would rise to the level of your honesty. Something that hoped he would eventually choose you without hesitation. Something that hoped he would fight for you the way you quietly fought for him. But God is saying this clearly: stop expecting someone to grow into a role they were never prepared to carry. Stop hoping someone will love you at the level you love them if they are unwilling to heal what prevents them from loving deeply. God saw the moments when he chose convenience over commitment. God saw the times he pulled away while telling you to hold on. God saw the mixed signals, the hesitation, the inconsistency. God also saw your tears, silent tears, hidden tears, the ones you wiped before anyone noticed. And today God says, enough. Enough of questioning your worth. Enough of waiting for clarity that should have been given freely. Enough of loving someone who is still undecided about what he wants. Enough of sacrificing your peace for the sake of someone else's confusion. You are not difficult to love. You are not asking for too much. You are not impossible to choose. You simply carry a love that requires a certain level of maturity. A level of honesty, a level of readiness. Not everyone has that. But the right person, the God-sent person, will have it naturally, without being pushed, without being coached, without being begged. God is about to shine a light on the truth. Not only the truth of who he is, but the truth of who you are. You are not meant to be played with emotionally. You are not meant to be someone's temporary comfort. You are not meant to be stuck in almost relationships, half-love, or unspoken commitments. You were created for a love that is solid, intentional, and spiritually aligned, and God is saying this: I will reveal what you need to know, even if it shakes the picture you painted in your heart. I will show you the truth behind his words. I will let the illusion fall apart so that the real lesson can stand. You may notice a shift soon, something he says, something he does, something God allows you to see or hear that makes everything suddenly clear. A truth moment. A reveal. A sign that removes the fog. And when it happens, it won't break you. It will free you. It will bring peace where there was confusion. Closure where there were questions. Strength where there was weakness. Vision where there was blindness. You've been holding your breath in this connection, waiting to see which direction it would go. God is about to let you breathe again. God is about to release you from the emotional limbo you've been stuck in. God is about to restore your clarity, your confidence, your self-worth, your spiritual alignment. You've stepped into a season where God refuses to let you settle for confusion disguised as affection. The next chapter of this message flows deeper into what God is preparing in your spirit, and why this revelation isn't meant to break your heart, it's meant to strengthen your destiny. Continue reading with an open heart, because God is about to explain what you've been feeling but couldn't put into words. There is a moment in every spiritual journey when God steps between you and what you thought you wanted, not because He wants to deprive you, but because He wants to protect you from the storm you didn't see coming. You've been focused on His words, His gestures, His potential, His promises. Meanwhile, God has been focused on the trajectory of your soul, your emotional health, your future, and the person you are becoming. God is not just thinking about your heart today, He is thinking about the version of you 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and the life you are destined to build. God sees the road ahead in ways you cannot, and He knows that if certain truths aren't revealed now, they will cost you more later. You've been asking God for answers, but here's the part most people never understand. Answers from God rarely come wrapped in comfort. They come wrapped in clarity. And clarity sometimes feels like discomfort, disappointment, or disruption. But what feels like loss in the moment is actually protection in disguise. God reveals what you need to know so that your heart doesn't end up tied to something that was never meant to hold you securely. You may wonder, why now? Why is God revealing this at this moment? It's because you reached a point where your spirit outgrew confusion. You reached a point where your heart matured enough to handle the truth. You reached a point where God saw that if He didn't intervene, you would continue building emotional expectations on a foundation that wasn't designed to hold the weight of your love. God is not punishing you, He's rescuing you. There are things He feels but refuses to admit. Things He wants but is afraid to pursue. Parts of Him that recognize your value, yet parts of Him that resist the responsibility that comes with loving someone like you. And God is exposing this internal battle, not to shame Him, but to awaken you. Because someone who is fighting himself can never fully fight for you. Someone torn between desire and fear will only give you half of what you deserve. And someone who doesn't know how to love himself properly cannot love you in the way your spirit craves. You've given him grace. You've given him patience. You've given him understanding. But every time you extended your heart, he extended a delay. Every time you gave him reassurance, He gave you distance. Every time you opened up, he shut down. And deep inside, you wondered if you were the problem. You wondered if you were too emotional, too intense, too available, too vulnerable. But God is whispering to you now, you were never the problem. Your transparency just exposed his lack of readiness. Your love revealed his emotional immaturity. Your sincerity highlighted his inconsistency. Your stability made his instability impossible to hide. God saw the imbalance. God saw the unspoken fears, the unspoken hesitations, the unspoken contradictions. And God is revealing them now to protect you from compromising who you are just to hold on to someone who doesn't yet know who he wants to be. But here is the divine twist: this revelation is not only about him. This moment is also about you. God is not simply uncovering the truth about his intentions, he is also uncovering the truth about your strength, your worth, your identity, and your spiritual resilience. You are stepping into a higher level of self-respect, spiritual intuition, and emotional clarity. You're about to see yourself the way God sees you, not as someone waiting to be chosen, but as someone already chosen by God, valued, protected, and destined for greatness. You did not lose anything. You did not waste time. You did not invest in the wrong person. You invested in the lesson God needed you to learn, that your heart is too precious to be placed in hands that tremble with uncertainty. That your purpose cannot be tied to someone who isn't spiritually aligned. That your calling cannot be slowed down by someone still trapped in confusion. God is elevating you, and elevation often requires separation. You have come through a long season of emotional uncertainty, and God wants you to understand something clearly: you were never walking alone in this. Every moment of confusion, every unanswered question, every silent prayer, every tear that fell when nobody was watching, he saw it all. You may have felt unheard by the person you cared for, but you were never unheard by God. Heaven has been responding to your heart long before you found the courage to ask for clarity. The truth God is revealing is not meant to destroy your hope in love. It is meant to refine it. God wants to cleanse you from every doubt, every insecurity, and every emotional bruise that came from loving someone who wasn't prepared to reciprocate with the same purity. You must understand, love was never the problem. Misalignment was. Timing was. His readiness was. His truth was. And God will never allow your destiny to be delayed or damaged by someone else's indecision. You deserved someone who mirrors your commitment, your depth, your courage, and your consistency. Someone who does not run from intensity but welcomes it. Someone who understands that love requires work, not just words. Someone who sees your heart and says, I choose you, not because it's convenient, but because it's a conviction. The person you cared for had affection, but not direction. He had emotions, but not intention. He had desire, but not discipline. And while He may have cared about you in His own limited way, God cares about you in fullness, and God will never let you settle for a relationship built on emotional fragments. God is closing this chapter not because of rejection, but because of protection and preparation. What is coming next is not just healing, it is transformation. You will feel lighter. You will feel clearer. You will feel stronger. You will feel a shift in your spirit where the emotional fog lifts and you finally see yourself the way God sees you. And in that clarity, you will begin to attract the kind of love that matches the strength of your soul. Do not fear this ending. God ends nothing without purpose. Where something is removed, something greater is prepared. Where something collapses, something stronger is built. Where truth reveals, freedom begins. This moment is not an emotional collapse, it is a spiritual upgrade. God is preparing someone who does not just say the right words, but backs them up with consistent actions. Someone who loves with clarity, not confusion. Someone who chooses you with intention, not hesitation. Someone who speaks truth, not excuses. Someone who carries the same spiritual alignment, emotional maturity, and depth of soul that you carry. This is the type of love you were designed for, balanced, God-centered, and undeniable, and when that person steps into your life, you will thank God for every closed door, every unanswered prayer, and every truth He revealed today. You will see that God was not taking love away from you, He was redirecting you toward the kind of love that honors your purpose instead of draining your spirit. But even more importantly, in this moment right now, God is turning your focus back to yourself, to your strength, to your growth, to your intuition, to your calling. This season is not about mourning a loss but embracing who you are becoming. The truth God revealed was never meant to break your heart, it was meant to break the chains that were keeping your heart from receiving the love it truly deserves. Lift your head. Straighten your spirit. God has not abandoned you. He has aligned you. You are stepping out of emotional uncertainty and stepping into divine clarity. The truth behind His words has been revealed, but now a greater truth is rising inside you, that you are worthy of a love that does not waver. You are worthy of a heart that does not hide. You are worthy of a partner who does not fear your depth. You are worthy of a future filled with peace, stability, and joy. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your elevation. God is not just closing a chapter, He is opening a destiny. And the love that is coming your way will not break you, confuse you, or delay you. It will honor you, uplift you, and reflect the greatness that God has always placed within you. Your heart is stepping into its divine season. Your spirit is stepping into its clarity. And your future is stepping into alignment with God's best for you. This is your release. This is your confirmation. This is your breakthrough.